What's up, guys? It's me on. I am back with another video, and man, what a fucking race that was. The elimination race for the first round of the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and it did not disappoint. We had chaos. We had some wild moments. I thought we were going to get a fucking fight at the end of this goddamn thing. Oh my god, that was amazing. That was fucking amazing. And as of right now, your 12 drivers for the next round are set, barring tech inspection. We'll see what happens. But let's get on the race review, shall we? First of all, of course, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because all of you Kyle Larson fans, well, oh, I should also bring this up. Make sure to use code ANJJ for free shipping on orders of $20 or more at Circle B Diecast, because all you Larson fans got another diecast to pre-order. Congratulations. With all of that being said, let's get into this, shall we? So Tyler Reddick, he came into this race dealing with some radio issues. We had a competition caution on lap 40, and NASCAR found a spring rubber in turn 4 under this caution. Logano had issues on pit road at this point in time. Cole Custer and Denny Hamlin made slight contact at one point, and Denny Hamlin would end up taking the Stage 1 victory. Larson 2nd, Elliott 3rd, Keselowski 4th, Blaney 5th, Harvick 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Bell 8th, Truex Jr. 9th, and Byron 10th. At this point, I believe Larson basically clinched his spot in the next round. So whether he won or not, he was going to be in anyway. And Chase Elliott got a speeding penalty on pit road at this point in time. Almirola's car showed a little bit of smoke here, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. Then we got a caution that came out during stage... Stupid fly, get out of here. Sorry. We got a caution that came out during stage 2. Daniel Suarez looked like he lost his engine, and then in an unrelated incident that happened just nearby, Cole Custer got into Ryan Newman. They both got in the wall, and Bubba Wallace got into the back of somebody, so he had some damage on his right front. Almirola was told to pit again so that they could look under the hood regarding the smoke, and then before the race would go back to green, he got black flagged, and they added some caution laps because they had to clean up some oil on the racetrack. He ended up having an oil line that needed to be replaced, and they did. And Almirola was actually able to stay on the lead lap at this point. Half had a left rear tire rub. Newman will be out for the rest of the race for the damaged vehicle policy. And then we get a caution a little bit later for Anthony Alfredo and BJ McLeod. McLeod done for the night. Alfredo got tagged by LaJoy. He spawned, got in the wall, came down, and McLeod got into him. Justin Haley also got into the back of McLeod. And both Haley and McLeod would be done for the night. And there would be a red flag for cleanup due to Speedy Dry having to be worked by hand here. Alfredo would hit the wall off turn 4 late in stage 2 and would pit. And Kyle Larson grabs the stage 2 victory. Hamlin 2nd, Keselowski 3rd, Byron 4th, Elliott 5th, Harvick 6th, Blaney 7th, Bell 8th, Reddick 9th, and Kyle Busch 10th. Reddick would come down pit road a second time, and by this point, Harvick, Larson, Blaney, and Logano all clinched their spots into the next round. So as the race came towards the end, it got more and more tense at that cutoff spot. Blaney almost gets into the wall at one point early in stage 3 while battling in the lead. Yaley had to pit under green for a loose wheel. Anthony Alfredo would take his car to the garage. He would be done for the night, and by that point, when that happened, Elliott would clinch his spot into the next round, which meant Hamlin, Truex Jr., Larson, Logano, Blaney, Harvick. So that's 7 drivers. My apologies. Got my math wrong. Caution would come out for Quinn Houff. Left rear tire shredded and gone. He spun out. Drivers would pit. Christopher Bell missed his pit box and had to back up. Bubba Wallace got into the back of Byron during the first lap after the restart. Byron told he was good. Caution for Quinn Houff again, who got in the wall. His night would be done. Byron was going to pit here, but he misheard instructions on the radio and stayed out. And then a short bit later, we got a caution for Denny Hamlin. He makes contact with Larson. Right front tire goes down. He didn't pancake the wall, and some would say that this shouldn't have been a caution. But it's a good thing that they did call it, because if they didn't, Hamlin probably would have got ran over, and that would have caused a massive ass wreck and probably ended a lot of guys' playoff hopes. Wouldn't have necessarily mattered for Hamlin because he's already locked in because of his win at Darlington, but still. Hamlin said he believed something was either bent or broke. And then, as we got into the final laps of this race, this is where the chaos ensued. Kyle Busch had to pit with the left front tire down. He dropped a ton of points and looked like he was going to have to fight to not fall out of the first round. Harvick and Elliott make contact while battling for the lead. Elliott ended up getting a flat left front. He makes it to pit road. He pits. He comes back out a couple laps down. He's battling to get his lap back. And Elliott would make contact with Harvick and gets that lap back. And then Christopher Bell would have to pit with right side damage and a tire down. He got into the 52 who got on the wall. Both Elliott and Bell had some not so great pit stops while trying to deal with this. Almirola makes some contact with Ryan Preece. And then we get into the final laps. Harvick, Larson, Elliott a lap down battling, right there. Harvick and Larson make contact. And Larson would get the W at Bristol. This was the closest that Harvick's come to winning all season long. And it's crazy that he hadn't won a race yet this year. This was his shot to win. Unfortunately, it did not work out. And then he and Elliott made some contact coming to pit road. And then after they were checked for their lug nuts, Harvick got right up behind Elliott's car. They both got out. Harvick kept his helmet on, which, dumbass, you of all people should know to take your fucking helmet off. Do we need to bring up receipts from the early 2000s when you were a hothead yourself? Just saying. Harvick and Elliott confront each other. There was a little bit of shoving. I guess NASCAR officials said over the radio to keep the crew guys away from there. And it really didn't amount to much more than just shoving. And then afterward, Harvick said that what Elliott did was a chicken shit move. Elliott said, basically said he was standing up for himself and his team, and whatnot. Just chaos. Absolute fucking chaos. And honestly, I'll be honest with you. Both of them were justified. Harvick hasn't won a race since 1 year ago when he won here in the playoffs. He battled Kyle Busch and won here to win 2 out of 3 races in the first round of last year's playoffs in what would be his last win of the season, and he hasn't won since. He wanted this one, and he had a shot to do it. Getting this win would have helped him tremendously going into the next round of the playoffs. He was already locked in, but he needed more. Elliott, he's your defending champion. He has not necessarily had the season that a defending champion should have or would have, and he's pissed off because he had to pit with a flat left front, which came with contact from Harvick, and then he tried to get him back. What are you gonna do? So that was a wild ass finish and a perfect way to cap off Bristol weekend. I'll be interested to see what happens with tech inspection. But with that being said, I have the playoff standings right now, pre-tech inspection. Right now, Kyle Larson would have a 30-point gap on Martin Truex Jr. at the top of the standings. Larson at 3,059 points. Truex Jr. at 3,029 points. Then you have Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin tied for third at 3,024 points. Kyle Busch in fifth at 3,022. Elliott in sixth at 3,021. Bowman in seventh at 3,015. Byron in eighth with 3,014. And I want to bring up Byron and Bowman here because before the chaos happened at the end, those two, along with Reddick and Almirola, were fighting each other essentially to make it into the playoffs in those last couple of spots. And then Kyle has his issues. Elliott has his issues. Elliott's didn't matter because he was already locked in, but Busch wasn't. Busch could have very well fallen out of the playoffs if not for the fact that they only replaced the tires on the side of the car that had been affected. If they took all 4 tires like Bell and Elliott did, Busch possibly could have fallen out. Bell is also lucky that he didn't fall out despite his issues. because he had such a gap over the cut line. So for Bowman and Byron, they came into this race, both of them being under the cut line, and they somehow survive and make it out. Logano is going to seed 9th at 3,013 points. Brad Keselowski, 3,008. Bell, 3,005. And Harvick, 3,002. So entering Las Vegas next weekend, Logano, Keselowski, Bell, and Harvick are the 4 guys that are on the outside looking in to move on to the round of 8. And sadly, by only a few points, Tyler Reddick and Eric Almirola will miss out on moving on to the next round, along with Kurt Busch and Michael McDowell. You know what's funny is that I had Kurt Busch going out early in the playoffs last year. He makes it to the second round, wins Vegas, and then makes it to the third round. This year, I had him going deep to the third round, and he goes out in the first round. Ninja Chris, I'm sorry. Harvick, I didn't think he was going to pull this off. I know the tracks in the first round are favorable for him, but the problem that I had was that Stewart-Haas Racing was not showing speed. Hell, yeah, but he ran well at Darlington, he ran well at Richmond, and he ran well tonight and damn near won the fucking thing. So, Harvick, he went from 16th to advancing out of the first round. Props to you, but now you got to start in 12th. You have to start at the back of the round of 12 playoff field. You've got another hill to climb, man. And it's only going to get tougher from here, considering that Talladega and the Roval are here. So if you want to advance, you better bring your fucking A game to Vegas and win that motherfucker. Just saying. Brad Keselowski, him and Truex Jr. really entered the second of the playoffs with a lack of momentum for the most part. Keselowski a lot worse. I thought he was going to go out in the first round. I think a lot of people did. And yet, he proved us wrong. He managed to make it out of the first round, but he's going to start with the 10th seed. If I'm him, he's won at Talladega before, especially in the playoffs. If anything, can he pull that magic off again? We'll see, because I believe he had to win at Talladega one year to save himself from elimination, so it's happened. Christopher Bell, despite the late race issues, he survived. He now enters the second round of the playoffs in his first year making the playoffs. I'm definitely interested to see if he can go any farther. He looked really good tonight. He was, if not for his late race issues, he was up, and if it wasn't for him missing his pit box earlier and having to back up, he was looking like he could have a top 5 or 10 finish. So he could have even been maybe a little bit higher in the standings. Who knows? Probably not, but either way. But for Almirola especially, we all thought that him and McDowell would be the 2 that were obvious eliminations in the first round. Almirola damn near advanced to the second round, and that was mostly because of the fact that he had some really good races both at Darlington and Richmond, especially considering the fact that a bunch of guys had issues at Darlington, so he took advantage of that, and he had to rally with the oil line issue from earlier, and somehow managed to stay on the lead lap while dealing with that on pit road. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be tonight, but you know what? I'm going to give Almirola his props. He's only in the playoffs, or was, because he won New Hampshire, the track, where I got to see in person. But when you think about it, it's just, he showed resiliency. He showed that he was here to race, and he damn near could have done what Austin Dillon did last year. We all thought Austin Dillon was going to be out in the first round. He got to the second round, had some great first round races. Almirola almost repeated that this year. And if he did, we would be, again, Harvick already locked himself in, but we would be talking about having 2 SHR cars in the second round of the playoffs, and somebody like Bell or Byron or Bowman not making it. Hell, possibly even Kyle Busch, depending with how this race played out. Ryan Blaney, I'm going to give this man his props. He entered the playoffs with back-to-back wins and 3 on the season, but we all know what happened last year. He did not do well at all. He had the pre-race penalty at Darlington, and it sucked out all the momentum that he had. He entered with momentum, but the first round tracks have not always been that good to him. Tonight, He kept it on the racetrack. He kept it clean. He stayed out there, and he finished. And now he's going to enter the next round third in a round where he could win at Talladega. He won the first Roval race when Johnson and Truex Jr. wrecked each other. Hell, he could go to Vegas and win there. Blaney has a chance to win all 3 races in the second round. I know that's crazy to say, but this is what he needed. If he could escape the first round, he's got a shot to go really far. Let's see what happens with him. And overall, I got to say it. This first round set the tone for the playoffs. Now, again, going into the next round, you've got 7th through 9th. They're all within 2 points of each other. 10th through 12th, they're within 6 of each other. And then freaking 2nd through 6th, it's within 8 points of each other. But if I'm Elliott's team, y'all got to get your pit road shit figured out. That's been your Achilles heel all season. Bowman, get your fucking consistency together. Byron, you need to find the consistency that you had earlier this year. If I'm Team Penske outside of Blaney, y'all need to fucking get your shit together. Harvick, you bet. SHR, give that man your best shit every fucking week from here on out. If this motherfucker somehow makes it to the Final 4, I will fucking lose my shit. Seriously. Oh, and if he does make the Final 4, if he does make it to Phoenix, I got one thing to ask. Bring back the Gravedigger scheme. Hell, do a Gravedigger scheme of one of his anniversary paint schemes. I don't know. Bring that back, because how cool would it be if Harvick somehow won the championship at Phoenix in a Gravedigger paint scheme? You know, considering that Gravedigger's a multi-time World Finals champion. Just saying. But wow, what a fucking race that was. And again, we'll see what happens with tech inspection. If something does happen and somebody gets affected, it could very well change everything. So we'll see what happens then. But thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will see you all next time. Peace!